Hi, it's Joelyn from One Heart TV, and I'm back with you again regarding that article I shared with you prior to the holidays in regards to can you rewire your brain? The 5 scientific ways to change emotional habits. I was happy to bring you in a couple of the interviews regarding the second and third of those scientific ways with my friends that will be speaking coming up at Allen Hancock College on March 11th for the International Women's Day event. That's at noon, and I'll link a poster for you. Hope you can make it. But in regards to following up with number 4, they say we're discovering increasingly that stress does something extremely interesting to the brain. I found a gentleman, a Dr. Gabor Maté, and I would love for you to watch what he has to say about how much anxiety and stress our young people have in particular, but this goes for anybody. So take a listen to the newest information of where's this stress coming from. Hope you enjoy it.
I just wanted to get your opinion on something that has affected a few friends of mine recently.
Sure.
So some of my close friends have struggled with anxiety and panic attacks. These are guys in their late 20s, early 30s.
Right.
I just wanted your opinion on whether you think this is always rooted in childhood, and is there any practical advice you'd give to someone who's trying to get to the root of it?
Sure. So in general, I believe that most mental health disorders, in fact I would say almost every mental health disorder, originates in childhood experience, and it originates as a coping mechanism. Now if you look at anxiety, if I were to pull a gun on you, you would not be anxious, you'd be afraid, as you should be. So when are we afraid? When we're threatened with something. Either something bad happened to us, or something that we perceive as something that we need is threatened to be taken away from us. Now, in the early child's life, in a young child's early life, anxiety is an attachment alarm. What is the child's biggest need? Attachment with the parent, connection with the parent. When the parent's not around, the child should feel some fear. That serves a positive purpose, because when a child feels fear, he cries, she vocalizes, and that brings the parent. I mean, look at a mother cat responding to the kitten's cries, immediate. And the same with instinct, with human beings who are still connected to the parenting instinct, they will respond to the child's cry for help. So that fear is adaptive. So it's a coping mechanism. But now what happens to a person whose parents are taught by medical experts, like I used to, until I learned otherwise, or others, not to pick up their kids when they're crying? Now that natural fear that causes the crying, that brings the parent, which ends the anxiety, is embedded in the child. So what begins as a coping mechanism now becomes generalized. So under certain circumstances, there should be fear and anxiety. But when I have this anxiety, when there's no immediate threat, what is that about? It's not a response to anything external, it's the embedded anxiety that I developed as a child. Now, in a society that makes people more isolated all the time, where human social contact is replaced by the rather cold and impersonal world of the internet, and when people under genuine threat, where young people have less opportunity for meaningful employment and belonging and a sense of purpose than their parents used to, there's more general threat. Now when that general threat hits people who are in childhood over-immersed in anxiety that's not relieved by the parent coming to help them, now you've got an anxiety situation. So when it comes to your friends with anxiety, I would get them to really look at their childhoods, and to recognize that that anxiety is really the cry of some desperate childhood part of themselves for help, and to learn to get help with that part. Not just to take tranquilizers or to drink booze, not to feel the anxiety, or not to go on the internet to soothe themselves or to escape momentarily, but to actually see that that anxiety is a normal response on their part to what actually happened to them, and that it can be relieved and recovered from if they look at its sources.
Hope you enjoyed that short video from Dr. Maté. I really encourage you to watch more of his longer videos on exactly what trauma does at an early age and how it adds so significantly to the stresses within our lives and how we deal with it. On the last article, The 5 Scientific Ways, the point, I'm going to bring up a breathing technique. I'm so excited to share this with you. I've been doing it for a year now, and I'm going to be demonstrating it, as I say, at the International Women's Day event on March 11th, coming up soon. Please subscribe, share this video with your friends. My hope with One Heart is that we can find things of value for you and your family to become more healthy and become the best you. And I look forward to meeting you if you show up on March 11th at Hancock College in Santa Maria. Otherwise, you can keep updated here with our blogs as well as oneheartinfo.org. All right. Peace. Love you all. Take care.